There are a lot of distinct disease-focused organizations, in the Duchenne community, to use that as an example. But this is very similar to a lot of other disease areas, and the reason for that is, if you're a family affected by a disease, one of the first things you think about doing is, can I do something to impact my family member, my child, myself? And maybe if I raise money and talk to researchers, I can impact this. Okay, if you think about what John Crowley did, that has famously been talked about, what he did for his 2 children. This is a common occurrence, and what happens is you get many of these small disease foundations. It might be Billy's fund or Johnny's fund or Susie's fund to go after a certain disease, right? For a child or for a patient. This is to be expected. I think what then happens is, as certain of those organizations grow, they want to be able to be the voice and the most influential in that disease area. And I think until one major organization emerges, and I think we see this in some areas like cystic fibrosis and the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. There are others, but everybody thinks about the CF Foundation. I think in Duchenne, while PPMD is known as probably the most prominent organization, you had a decades-long history of the NDA, right? I'm wearing a jacket from the Duchenne Alliance, which attempted to create an umbrella organization for the dozens, of these small foundations around the globe. I think, Cure Duchenne has had efforts in the Duchenne space. So I think you've got, Charlie's Fund is another one. They all have an impact. They all have influence. They all, I think, are contributing to a dialogue to move a field forward in a specific disease area. And I think it really is just a question of, all right, how can we live and coexist with all these organizations in an efficient and impactful manner? What you don't want are organizations detracting from the main goal. And I think, at least I try to do everything we could to avoid that in the Duchenne community. I think no one in industry wants to see that happen. And I think, for the most part, all of the organizations, I think, recognize that we're all after the same goal. And to be successful, the more we work together on that goal, the better off we're going to be.